All right, people, let's go ahead and finish this Trammel Toy thing and put it all together and get it working. So here we go. First thing we need to do is build this pin that's going to go through here. Because remember that hexagon is a different size than these hexagons. So first let's measure what the size of the hexagon is going to be from one of these edges. Got to make sure I get the right one. To the other edge is 0.386. All right, and so I'm going to have to remember that. And the distance from the bottom to the top, plus it's going to stick up 1/4 of an inch. And you'll learn why when we put the crank arm on. Measure from here to here is 0.844. I'm going to write that down so I don't forget it. And now we can build that pin. So I'm going to go ahead and go into the pins domain here. Now I know I made the hex pin block, but I'm going to go ahead and put in another pin. I'll start a new sketch on the top plane. That's where we drew before. N gets normal to the plane, and we will draw that hexagon just over here, kind of next to that. It's already a hexagon. Click again, and now we need to dimension from one flat side. It's kind of hard to find it. Could have done point to point. Yeah, maybe it's easier to do that way. So from here, this point to that point, make sure it's not straight. It's got to be aligned this time. So you got to pull out at that kind of weird angle. Was 0.386. Okay. Now I forgot how big the circle was going to be in there. So let's go back to my assembly and measure that circle. 0.177. I was going to bet on that. Back to pins. We're now going to draw a circle in the middle that is 0.177. All right, cool. Finish our sketch. We are now going to extrude the hex part to 0.25. So extrude hex part to 0.25 inches. Okay, don't forget we got to turn back on the sketch to be able to use it. And we're going to extrude that little hole down there up to 0.844. 0.844 was the measurement, but we're going to add now plus 0.25 because it's going to stick over and above 1/4 of an inch. Good. Now let's go ahead and name this piece. Blue is fine with me. Since I have a hex pin block, I'm going to call it, rename this as hex pin slider. So I've got a hex pin for the block, hex pin for the slider, so I know which one it is. Blue's fine because the other ones I think were yellow, so you do you. All right, let's come back in here. We're going to now insert into our assembly that in pins, not that one. Maybe I shouldn't have made it blue. Oh, they are blue. Wow, I didn't remember that. Okay, fine. I'll go back here and make this a different color. I don't think I have anything green yet. Ooh, that's an ugly green. Yeah, it's the best I can do. All right. Let's go back into my assembly. Oh, the slider screen. Hold on. I don't want it the same color as the slider block. Let's do a aqua. Ooh. All right. Oops, and I can turn off my sketch too. All right, let's go back into the assembly. Now we're going to insert, go into my pins and find that hex pin slider. It just remembered the last color. That's why it's like that. And click on it, put it out here. And we will say, okay, good. And now, right now, that's kind of twisted around. We're going to do the mate constraints we've done before with a fastened mate locked to the middle of one of the sides and the middle of one of the sides, and good. All right, cool. Now it's sticking up for a reason. We're gonna talk about that in just a little bit. Okay. Now the other side had a counterbore for a reason that we'll talk about in a moment, but we're not going to do that yet. All right. I do not need another fastened mate. All right, now we've got everything ready to go except for two pieces that we're going to need that are kind of crazy pieces that would be really difficult to make. So instead of making them, you're just going to go get them. I've shared them with you so that you can go just get them. So make sure that you are in your project here in DL55. Right now, this video is being linked, so this will look slightly different. And I may add some stuff to this, but I have linked the crank arm and connector pin. So when you go to crank arm and go to there, it should open up another tab of Onshape. You're in the CLAP publicly shared document. Now, right now, it's not allowing you to do anything until you come up here to the left and say, make a copy. Now, you're making a copy of the document. Okay, I thought it was going to be just the part, but we'll see what happens. I'm actually doing this in real time here, so let's see how that goes. And say, okay. And that should bring you, okay, now you are in your, you've made a copy of that. You should be able to close out of this now, because now you have the Trammel Toy connector piece as well as the other one, but you're in that. Now, you should be able to close this tab, go back into your thing, and then when you go into your Onshape and you go into shared with me, oh, no documents have been shared. Let's go to my Onshape. Okay, when you click on my Onshape, there it is. And you should be able to go into that, or actually, let's see what I want to do with this. I might be able to take that part and transfer it. So let's do that. Okay, here's what I want to do is down here you've got these 2 parts. While you're in the CLAP publicly shared document, the Trammel Toy crank arm and the Trammel Toy connector. So right click on the crank arm first and move to document, okay? And you're going to select other documents created by me, and you're going to go into your Trammel Toy, okay? Now it's going to give it a version name. That's fine. It doesn't matter. And we're going to move it. Okay. Now let's also do this with the with the connector. Right click, move to document. You're again going to go to other documents, go to created by me into your Trammel Toy, and you should be able to move. All right. Now let's go back to your Onshape by clicking on Onshape up in here. Go to your Cougar thing, or your name, sorry, and into here, and we should have down here somewhere along here. Yep, there's the Trammel Toy crank arm, and it should be in there. Now I'm going to do a test, and if it doesn't work, then I'll tell you it doesn't work. But I'm going to go back into my Onshape in here and go to this publicly shared thing, and now I don't need it anymore, so you can send it to the trash. Now, before you do that, let me make sure I've still got those parts there. Trammel Toy, and back into my Trammel Toy, and I've got the parts that I need. So, good. Okay, cool. All right, so that was a lot of stuff to go through. You might have to go rewatch that again. Go back into our assembly, and we're going to put those two items in now. So let's put in the insert, and we're going to put in the crank toy, the Trammel Toy crank arm. Click on that. We're going to put that in there, and then we're going to do the connector pin twice. We'll do one of those because there's actually two of them. Okay, these are actually pieces from Vex kits that we have in the classroom now, where things snap together that if we were in the classroom, we'd be using. All right, good. All right, now let's talk about what we're going to do with these and how we're going to connect them to make them work. All right, first of all, we're going to put this onto this pin. So let's go ahead and make a revolute mate. And we're going to click on the center of the end circle right there and the top of the pin right there. Now, the reality is it's sitting up off of there, but that's okay. That's what I want. Now, if you have to, if this just happens to be sitting on the other piece, go ahead and just move it out of the way like this. Okay. Now, the next one is this little pin. It's kind of cool. If you remember, you made a counterbore hole that this piece is, this little ridge right there is going to snap into and stay there. And then this little piece right here will snap through one of the holes on this arm. So we're going to do another mate. It doesn't matter whether we do revolute or insert or a fixed. I think I'll do a revolute just because that would probably spin. So let's do a revolute mate. We're going to choose, it is very important that you choose this edge right here where it's going to go down, and you see that right in the middle. And that is going to go down into this hole. Click. All right, and it should sit just like that with that shoulder up out of there. Now we're going to do another revolute. Now, I'm hoping that these match up. If they don't match up, then we might have a problem here. So we'll see what happens. So I'm going to do another revolute mate. And I'm going to choose the top of this. Yeah, there we go. Like, make sure that it's hitting in the middle. Click. And we're going to go 5 in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Click on that. Now it moved the part to it, but once I hit the check mark, it should move back. Now if it turns red, yeah, it turned red. So here's the deal. The height of this is probably slightly different than the height of that, and your revolute mates need to be coplanar. And if they're off a little bit, it'll say, nope, you can't do that. So we're going to undo that mate, and instead we're going to do a slider. Now the slider will keep the axis lined up and allow it to move, but it won't because it's already held in place. It's just a way of making this happen. So we're going to do a slider mate. We're going to choose any circular edge on this. Because it's a slider, it will work. So we're going to go right there. We'll be fine. And then again, 5 in. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Click that. Now this one should work once I hit the check mark. And good. All right, cool. Now the last thing we're going to do is we're going to put this guy so that the long part's sticking up for like a handle. And we'll do another revolute mate. I do not want a slider, I want a revolute. And we are going to put that guy into here. I might need to flip it. Yeah, I need to flip the direction. There we go, to leave that sticking up like it's a handle. All right, now for the magic. we should be able to grab this piece, and it wants to spin. Maybe you got to kind of grab and spin it around. Fun. Now we can actually animate this by going to this revolute mate that we made right here. So we'll have to scroll down here. I got to get rid of my own stuff and find it by hovering over what we just made. And it's that guy right there, I think. Yes, yes. Okay, so we could even rename that. Let's do that. Let's rename that revolute mate and call it animate. So we can animate this. Now, this should be pretty fun. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down here to this animate, click on it. Now, it's not showing up. And when I double click on that, I should be able to animate this. And it will go through its degrees of freedom, which means it's going to go through. I think it will just continue to do that. Whoa! Okay. But it's not doing the others. Okay, now I know there's a way to do this. I'm going to pause this video and research it, and then I'll let you know how to do it. Well, after researching, I realized I didn't do anything wrong, except for that when we double-click this to animate it, one of the things that, let me test that one more time. Yeah, okay, I think I see what's happening. Is instead of coming and double-clicking this to animate it, it's just animating that one revolute mate. I realize what I did now. Should have right-clicked on the mate and clicked animate. Now, instead of doing a reciprocate, we're going to do a loop and play. All right, fun. So it's pretty cool. All right, so congratulations, you have finished the Trammel Toy, and it looks good. All right, a little bit more to do with this, and we will see you next time. Hope it was fun. By the way, when you take your picture of this, you're not going to need to show your animation. Just get it to where you can kind of see everything, take your picture of it, and we're all good. All right, see you next time.